Hey guys, Rick Ginn here with Flip with Rick. We're talking about the biggest opportunity upcoming with our eviction crisis. That's right, I'm talking about how to cash in on pre-foreclosures and how you can wholesale them in your current business. Guys, before I get started, do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we'll keep feeding you this up-to-date information, and I'll teach you exactly how to cash in on today's real estate wholesale market. So let's get into it. What are pre-foreclosures? Pre-foreclosures are simply when somebody has a mortgage on a property and they've got behind on payments. So typically something in pre-foreclosure is marked by being behind at least 2, if not 3 payments. One payment doesn't typically flag the account. It just puts it in bad status. Once you have 2 behind payments, then you are definitely earmarked by the servicing bank. And once you get into 3, you are considered a pre-foreclosures. They're also called a pre-nod. So if you ever hear that word, P-R-E-N-O-D, that's basically a notice. NOD stands for notice of default, and a pre-nod is within month 2 and 3 of that. So if you ever hear people about buying lists like that, so that's it. It's somebody who gets behind on their mortgage. So let's think about this for a moment. There's going to be 2 types of pre-foreclosures. That's it. Anybody else tells you otherwise, they're lying to you. So in my 19 years experience, there's only 2 types. Number 1, a pre-foreclosure with equity. It means they've owned the house for probably 10 years plus, and they've paid down on the mortgage, meaning they have cash in it. So if they bought the house for $100,000 and say they put down a 20% down payment, and they have a mortgage balance of $80,000 and they paid on it for 10 years. And now the mortgage balance is down to say $60,000, and maybe the guy or the gal, they lost their job and they're getting behind. That is a pre-foreclosure with equity, because potentially there's $40,000 to $50,000 in equity in that deal. And to be honest with you, those are the absolute easiest ones to wholesale. They're not as common as we see anymore, but those are ones you can wholesale. You can solve the seller's problem and you can make a boatload of money. Just remember that you have to focus on solving the problem. The second type of pre-foreclosures, which a lot of people will not tell you, is properties without equity. Well, what do you mean by that, Rick? So let's take the same example. Say John bought a house for $100,000. He put down a 3% down payment, has a $97,000 mortgage, and he's in year 2 of it, and he just got behind on payments. The house is maybe worth $101,000. By the time he were to sell that property, pay realtor fees, closing fees, he'd actually have to bring cash or a check, same thing, to the closing table, and there's no incentive for him to sell it because he's not getting any money. That's a deal without equity. And unfortunately, this is more common than the ones with equity. Now, I will tell you, I make a boatload of money off deals without equity because the average wholesaler doesn't understand them. They don't know what to do with them. And somebody's taught them that they're junk and garbage leads. So without going into an entire video of how to flip a pre-foreclosure without equity, in the link below, you'll see a link to subject to videos. I want you to go ahead and check that out. This is what you do with those deals without equity. They are perfect for subject to for the right mortgage. You can also do what we call a short sale with those. And that's simply where you sell the house with permission from the bank at a discounted rate of the mortgage. And you can also take those deals and refer them off to realtors and get a finder's fee off of that. And we do a lot of those on people who have to sell it for retail because that's the only way they can make it work. So check out the subject to one. That's one of my favorite ways to deal with properties without equity. It's a great video and it'll walk you through the mechanics of that. So let's talk about the specifics of pre-foreclosures. Now, I'm going to give you my 19 years experience pre-foreclosures. I'm going to give you the good and the bad. Number 1, pre-foreclosures are very drama filled, and you can understand why. They bought a house they typically couldn't afford, put down like a smaller down payment. And remember, most people that get a mortgage are only 1 paycheck away from going into pre-foreclosure. So in the event where someone loses their job or there's a pandemic going on, you can see how they can easily fall into this scenario. So I will tell you, when you deal with these sellers, you're going to get very long-winded information. Remember, the reality of our business is we're solving people's problems. The real estate is just a symptom. So be prepared when you hear about a loss of income or anything like that. You're usually going to get a long drawn out story. You just have to suck it up and listen to it. Even today with my acquisitions people, I have to tell them just grin and bear it. Some of it gets really dramatic, but I'm just saying there's a lot of drama in pre-foreclosure. It's not a big deal. Just try to help them out best you can. The next thing you need to understand, everybody in pre-foreclosure, 9 times out of 10, they're in denial. It depends on what state you're in. There's different types of states on how the foreclosures work. So I'm just going to give you an example because I'm in the state of Florida, is you own the house till the day the court takes it away to you. So you can be in pre-foreclosure, the whole 9 yards, and you own the house right up until a judge declares you don't own it anymore and it's going to go to auction. Sometimes that process can take 2, 3, 4. I've seen it as long as 7 years. And some sellers think they have a million options. I'm not necessarily looking to work with that person. I want to work with someone who wants to actually solve their problem. And that brings us back to, what is the problem with foreclosure? They have a house they typically can't afford and they cannot afford to make the mortgage payments. Let's not even bring up all the maintenance issues, the landscaping on the property, the utilities. Obviously, they're in a dire situation. They want to get the monkey off their back as soon as possible. And that's where we need to go in and solve the problem. So understanding whenever you meet somebody in foreclosure, 9 out of 10 times the initial conversation on an incoming phone call, or even if you were to door knock them or anything like that, they're going to deny it. It's human nature. Don't take it personally, just understanding that's part of the process of the pre-foreclosure. The next thing I want to do is, we're going to get through the drama. We're going to get through the denial. Then you just got to figure out some basics. What kind of condition is the house in? Usually the better the condition of the house, the more solutions you can offer, especially when you go to wholesale it. If you have to rehab it or something, it's going to mess with the numbers and it's definitely going to take a lot of time. So you want to know what the cost is on the rehab. Is it a nice, pretty house that we could consider for like a subject to deal, or does the house need rehab, and what's the budget on it? So remember, the problem you're solving for anybody in pre-foreclosure, I don't care if they have equity or they don't have equity, is most of them want to get out of the house without paying any money out of their pocket. There's very few people that can solve that problem. Realtors can't solve it. Title company can't solve it. Really, you as an investor is the person that can solve it, but they have to cooperate with you. And at some point, they're going to have to accept that they need to get out of this house without any money out of their pocket. So focus on solving their problem in pre-foreclosure, and you will do amazing deals. I don't want you to worry if it has equity or it doesn't have equity. Just to focus on solving their problems. Understanding everybody in pre-foreclosure is not open to a solution that you're offering to them. A lot of times they have to spend time with realtors, with their friends, with an attorney to find out the only way to survive the pre-foreclosure is either catch up the mortgage, which 9 times out of 10 is not feasible for them, or to work with someone that will buy the property and get them out of their situation without any money out of their pocket. That's where you come in, and you right now, if you train yourselves on pre-foreclosures and you keep following us, I'm going to show you how to cash in on what I think is the biggest tidal wave of evictions coming we've seen in our lifetime. Right now, pre-foreclosures, I'm telling you, by the end of probably 2021, you're going to thank me. I love pre-foreclosures. You just need to understand how to identify on which ones to work with and how to profit on them, even on deals that don't have equity. So you're going to find 2 types in pre-foreclosures: with equity, without equity. No longer are you going to freak out with the ones without equity. We can simply do a subject to deal. And if you don't have experience in it, you can find someone you can partner up with on a simple JV agreement. You could do a short sale on something like that. Or if they just need to list it to break even, you could refer to a realtor and get a referral fee, a marketing fee. So I guess we call it a marketing fee. So guys, that's it. I want you to be prepared for pre-foreclosures. They're coming. They've been around a long time, and I don't want you to be scared of them. I think we have the greatest opportunity coming to us at the end of 2020. What you need to do is prepare yourself. Guys, if you like the information, do me a favor, hit the like button, smash that subscribe button. And if you have any questions or comments or any other types of videos you want to see me do, go ahead and put it in the comment sections below. This is Rick Ginn with Flip with Rick. You guys have a great day.